You said someone accused me of thinking religious people are stupid, right? But I never said that, right? I said I'm not religious. I said I don't believe in any of the religious claims made by any religions. And I gave the example of perhaps the most common religious claim in the world currently, that there was a man named Jesus who was the incarnated son of the creator of the universe, otherwise commonly known as God, right? The one true God, as they claim it, as they understand the concept, right? That's a claim. That's a testable claim, right? If I say I have a brown dog named Popok in my kitchen, that's a testable claim. You can see the dog, right? We can verify that that's a true claim, right? And the same thing with there is a man named Jesus who is the incarnated son of the one true God, the creator of the universe, as claimed by every branch of Christianity, so far as I'm aware, or some rough approximation of it. They might disagree on the details, but that's the basic idea, the foundation of Christianity, the religion, right? So if I say, no, I don't believe that claim, that's just me not believing one of many possible claims that you could make about the nature of some kind of divine, super intelligent, super willful, and powerful entity that we might roughly describe as a god, right? There are many, many other claims you can make, and there are many claims that many other religions make, and I don't believe any of them, right? But that's different than the question, do I believe all religious people are stupid? Right?
Oh, this is different.
I think you're stupid if you believe demonstrably stupid things, or if you fail to apply reason correctly. But I would say the vast majority of religious people do not apply reason at all to their religious beliefs. That's why they have the concept of faith, and even they will say this. They will acknowledge that their religion is faith-based, not reason or evidence-based. So that's why we can't say it's stupid. If I said 2 + 2 is 5, do you believe me?
What? 2?
Can you add 2 and 2 together? Yeah, no? You never tried? Do you want to try right now? You can count on your fingers. 2 + 2. What is 2 + 2? So that's the kind of claim where a label like stupidity might make sense, right? If you couldn't add 2 and 2 together, no matter how much I tried to explain it or demonstrate it to you, and you still thought it was 3 or 5 or 1,200,000,075, then we might say, well, she's kind of stupid. She's not very good at math, right? That's where I would use a word like stupid. Not very good at thinking, not very good at reasoning, right? And I wouldn't necessarily mean that even in an insulting, derogatory way. It's just a description, right? Stupid is the opposite of smart. If someone were very, very good at math, I'd say, oh, he's pretty smart, right? And if they weren't very good, then I'd say, oh, she's a bit stupid, at least in that regard, right? Because you could be good at thinking about other things rationally, logically, right? There are many things I'm not very good at thinking about, but there are other things I'm exceptionally good at thinking about, right? So that idea, like, well, all religious people are stupid, doesn't really make any sense, considering the majority of the people in the world are religious, and many of them are demonstrably quite intelligent, right? Many of them are scientists, scholars, philosophers, artists, things that would require at least average or many times above average intelligence to do, right? It's like the people who say Donald Trump is so stupid. Well, you could hate Donald Trump for a lot of reasons, and you could disagree with virtually everything he does, but I don't think you could make the claim that he's stupid, because most of the things he's done require at least an above average level of intelligence, right? So I don't love Donald Trump as a person, but just being intellectually honest, you can't look at him and say, well, he has such a low IQ, he's so unintelligent. No, clearly he must be intelligent enough to do many of the things he's done, right? And you could say the same thing about many people I disagree with about many important things, right? Intelligence is not an indicator of the values you hold or how much you like a person. It's just your ability to organize information in some form.
Okay, what you believe? You think who believe in God? Not like that, just in a religion God. That is stupid.
I think if you have faith-based beliefs, by definition, it means you are not applying reason to those beliefs. You're not applying a scientific process to those beliefs. Do you see what I mean? They're like in a special place in your mind where your intellect and your rational faculties, what we might call intelligence, don't really apply. You just accept them as postulates, as basic premises of the universe. And we all do these to some things. There are some things we just accept as basic truths about the universe because we couldn't live if we didn't. Like, for example, I accept the basic truth that reason works. Because if I didn't accept that reason and logic were valid ways to think, I wouldn't be able to think about anything. So I just kind of have to accept them, right? And so people, the majority of them, there are probably exceptions, of course, but the majority of people who are religious in any form, not just Christians or any of the major world religions, have certain fundamental beliefs about existence that they just accept as true. And so I couldn't call them stupid for just accepting certain things as true unless they tried to rationally integrate those beliefs in some kind of organized, hierarchical, informative way with other rational, evidence-based beliefs they have in a way that was irrational, that clearly didn't make sense and that they were incapable of seeing didn't make sense. In the same way that if I just couldn't get you to see that 2 + 2 = 4, I might say she's a bit stupid, at least when it comes to basic arithmetic. Because that would be a description of how you think. You're bad at math. That makes you stupid. I'm not saying you're bad at math. I don't know anything about your mathematical abilities. I'm speaking hypothetically. Right? So there are certain valid, appropriate situations where we might call someone stupid or unintelligent, because stupid is kind of a casual and derogatory term. Let's just say unintelligent, right? It's more technical, more removed, more objective, more fair. There are ways in which we would use the term unintelligent that are perfectly valid and fair, and there are ways we would use the word intelligent that are perfectly valid and fair, right? So if you're asking me, do I think all religious people are unintelligent? No, clearly not. There are many intelligent religious people. Now, can you rationally demonstrate to me, using intellect and evidence, that there was a man named Jesus Christ who was the incarnated Son of the Creator of the universe, who died for the sins of mankind 2,000 years ago? That's a different question. No one has been able to rationally demonstrate that to me in the way they can rationally demonstrate the laws of motion or the evolution of species or basic chemistry or technology. All those things can be rationally demonstrated, right? They're the products of intelligence. We invent them because we apply our intelligence to the world around us. We figure out how things work and we find new ways to make them work in a way that is useful to us. That's every new device ever invented, such as the camera recording this. That's a rational demonstration of intelligence, discovering things about what is real, about reality. If you can do that with religion, it will cease to be religion. It will be something else, right? If you can rationally demonstrate that there is a creator of the universe who operates in certain ways according to certain predictable laws and patterns, and that there was a man named Jesus who had certain supernatural abilities as a result of being the incarnated son of such a mystical being, then that would no longer be religion anymore. It would just be a new branch of science, right? It'd be like the science of cosmic beings with unimaginable power. Then it wouldn't be religious anymore. Do you see what I mean? It wouldn't be a faith-based concept anymore. It would just be studying how anything works, just like a laptop computer or a camera. If you took a computer or a camera back in time, 2,000 years to Jesus, and you showed it to him, if he were like anything else like the other people who lived around then, he'd say, "Holy shit, that's magic. How are you doing that? That's amazing. Did God give you that power?" Because according to his worldview, his paradigm, that would be the only way he could explain such a thing. How did you do that? Have this computer that has moving images inside it and plays sounds and captures recordings of things. To him it would be, because he would have no other rational explanation for how it works. He would simply have to say, God gave you this power. Maybe you're the son of God. Or maybe you're a prophet, right? Because he wouldn't have the necessary worldview to understand that there are physical principles that scientists figured out that make it possible to do these things. Hell, I barely understand these things. And I live in the modern world and use these devices every day. I can barely explain to you how a computer works. Certainly couldn't build one, right? So imagine Jesus himself trying to explain how a computer works. He wouldn't have a rational basis for it. It'd simply have to be, you've done something impossible. You've done something miraculous. You must be one of the chosen people of God too, because I can't think of any other way to explain what you've done here. Right? Wouldn't that be the most rational conclusion he could come to? I think we've gotten off topic a little bit.